We are recording.
All right, let's call to order the Hopkinton Building Committee meeting on December 1st at 4:31 p.m. We are operating under the governor's executive order to do these meetings remote. This meeting has been posted correctly in multiple places. Minutes will be taken and posted at another date. There is no physical location of this meeting. This meeting is completely held remote. So with that out of the order, welcome back everybody. We have in attendance with us, Steve Chamberlain, Michelle Clark, Rob Nato, Gordon Bristol, Bill Hickey, BPS, Doug Proctor, Jay Burgess, Chris Kelly, and Rebecca Gagnon, and Amy Doyle. Welcome back everybody. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. It was nice, relaxing in our new home on Amesbury, nice and quiet, the five of us. So I hope you guys all had some time to relax and enjoy some nice turkey or a ham. With that, I'd like to start off the meeting with approval of our minutes. If I could please get a motion for an approval, that'd be great.
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Perfect. Since this meeting is being held remote, we must do a roll call on the minutes. So I'll start with Steve Chamberlain.
I approve.
Okay, Michelle.
Michelle Clark, yes.
Rob.
Rob Nato, yes.
Jay.
Dave Burgess is a yes.
Okay, Chris Kelly.
Yes.
Rebecca. Rebecca. You're probably still mute. Yeah. I'll take a nod if I can see her. Is she there?
He's there.
Just not, yeah, not thumbs up. I'll take a thumbs up. Perfect. All right, and Amy Doyle.
Amy Doyle is a yes.
Perfect. All right, and then Rebecca. She's
I'm
there.
good,
Okay.
sorry.
No, that's fine. And Norm Goupel is a yes. Great, thanks guys. I appreciate that. Motion carries. So we don't have too much to discuss today, but we're going to go through our standard procedure to discuss what's going on with the building project to update the community. With that, I'm going to start off, basically in these meetings, we like to go through what we discussed since the last meeting, any changes, any issues, anything that the public, should be aware of. I'm going to turn over to start with our with Gordon Bristol, and then we'll go down to BPS.
Okay, I'll start with the highlights of things that have changed in the last month, if any. I think if you go out to the site, again, I don't want to take all the thunder from Barry, but you'll see the exterior framing of the Harold Martin School is ongoing. I think he can go down through and report what they're doing in detail. But the thing that's important for the public to know is that we have installed the new air unit in the kindergarten room. That was a concern for starting school. That is up and operational now. So we now can get over that COVID air movement in that area. And then also on a larger project, the fire sprinkler system, the cistern is in the building, and we have many of the items on their way that will be here within the next week or two. So we're looking to be somewhere, some of the parts of the sprinkler system will be 100% complete by the end of this month, and others will be well underway. The only one that won't be well underway, and it's a COVID glitch, is the actual sprinkler piping, which is maybe around $80,000 of this $300,000 project. That, because of COVID and it being a US product, we're having trouble getting it, but that I think is a legitimate reason to not be done. So at that school, again, we'll let Barry go into the detail. I don't want to take his thunder. So Harold Martin, I'll now move on to Maple School. Work continues on the roof. We'll have a good roofing update for you all next month, but in all the schools, we are looking to have the roofs 100% weather tight. There's been a variety of leaks, some historical and some new, but we want to let you know that work at Maple Street continues. We have put a roof hatch in at Maple Street, so that makes access to the roof for future maintenance easier. It's a prudent addition, but we are chasing some roof leaks. Eastern is the vendor that we are using. And they feel that the gym roof there at Maple Street School is good, but they're going to work and endeavor to get the rest of the roof so that we have a fully dry building. This again is something that you've been chasing for a while, and construction is going to try to button that up. Barry can speak more to it as well, but during the Christmas break, we are looking to carpet 6 to 8 rooms of the Maple Street School. So we'll be getting a jump on finishes for that particular school because you have a little bit of an extended break here at the Christmas time. And then lastly, at the Hopkinton Middle High School, we're looking to do 5 to 6 classrooms of new carpet during the holiday shutdown. Same thing there. We're chasing a roof leak around room 506, but the goal is to get these all buttoned up. Bottle fills is something new because of COVID that has changed in the last month. Previously, we all grew up where you went over to the water bubbler and you put your mouth underneath the water bubbler and up it went, and half the water went in your mouth and half went back down the drain. Those are now a no-no under the COVID world. So we have 3 water bottle fillers on order for Maple Street School, and the district has decided that bottle fillers is the way to go versus bubblers for the future. So I think we can show that we as a district are taking COVID seriously and adding it to our construction project. So
Gordon, just 1 is for Maple and 2 are for the middle high school.
very good. 1 for Maple, 2 for Middle High. And I'll stop there, and anything that I didn't miss and also take some thunder, Barry, you can pick up on when Norm gets to you.
Thanks, Gordon. I had a couple quick questions.
Please.
So my first question is about the sprinkler system. So we worked really hard to get that in this year. I understand COVID has taken some hits on us. How does that affect the grant that we're potentially applying for from the state?
Okay. How that affects the grant is in talking with Amy at the state, she wanted to see it essentially complete. She could not, when we spoke with her 3 months ago, she could not give a blanket that she would approve it, even if it wasn't 100% finished. Now, I know we're a public meeting, so I don't want to take all the thunder, but basically, if she opened up and made a blatant statement on any subject, including sprinklers, and were to say, you know, if a sprinkler is only a certain percentage done, I'm going to say it's okay. She's not going to stand on a podium and say that, but she's going to review them. Having said that, she's going to review them on a case-by-case basis. And we feel very good that we have an excellent case to make that but for COVID, we would have been 100% complete. We've certainly shown that we've done a lot of stuff 100% done and many things 50 and 60% done. So I personally feel we have a good argument to her, and I would be surprised as your advocate that if we did not get approval of that state money. That is what we're banking on. But again, you're not going to get Amy to stand on a podium, nor should she right now, because she would have 50 schools coming at her looking for partially finished products. She's going to do it case by case, and I feel we have a good case. That was one of your questions. All right.
Yeah, and then the water bubblers, that we're doing filters because of to prevent COVID, you know, germs of future spreading, correct? Pretty much, is that the reason why we're doing it?
And we'll let Michelle explain that. Michelle has got some grant money for you. So
great.
not to defer it, but let's let the proper person, Michelle, if you want to speak.
Yeah, I'm hoping we put it in for a grant. Those are ones that need to be replaced anyways. And so it makes perfect sense to do it now that we can't even use them no matter what. And so we have put in money with the grant proposal we did the end of last week. We're just waiting to hear back. If that doesn't come through and or we can't have that done before December 30 of 20, we would then look at the money that we did get from the CARES ESSA, which again falls completely in line with because of COVID as to why we got that. We would be looking for that.
Perfect. That's what I was thinking along the same lines of Michelle, that this would go part of the grant process. Perfect. Great to hear. Does anyone have any questions for Gordon?
Just Norm, remember the fire suppression system is a percentage grant.
Yeah,
So based on what we put in, the board approves for pay, the percent is what we get.
yep, I remember that. Perfect. All right, there's no other questions for Gordon. I am going to turn it over to BPS for the remaining thunder on the project.
Gordon, you did a great job. So I'll just fill in the few gaps that you left me, which is fine. Good evening, everyone, or afternoon. At Harold Mountain, where the majority of the work that is going on, as Gordon said, we complete the structural steel. We are doing the exterior light gauge metal framing. We are starting the exterior sheathing. Roofing will begin in earnest next week on that building. Our goal, we've already brought the heating equipment on site. Our goal is to have that tight and ready to pump in heat right around the holidays. So we're tracking very well there schedule wise. And once we put heat in the building is relatively tight, we can begin all the roughs for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. There's been a little bit of plumbing going on for roof drains and et cetera. Once the building's tight and there's a little bit of heat in there, that will all begin in earnest. Also over the next month, the fire pump will be going in and all the piping for that in the fire pump room, which used to be a small exterior access room for the custodial staff and the lawn equipment. As he said, the cistern is in, complete, backfill, piping is in, loaned and seated. And that pretty much wraps up what's going on at HMS. Very little work at the other two schools. We've been getting prepared and ready to do some stuff over the holiday breaks. Also over the holiday breaks, punch list items that Doug put together in the restrooms. We will address any of those items during school break and get those items checked off and complete. There was some toilet petitions that arrived damaged. We installed those anyways to get school open. The manufacturer has since replaced them to us, and we've had them for a few weeks now. And like I said, we'll put those in over the holiday break. That's really it, guys. The focus is obviously on the addition. A temporary wall has been built between the addition and the school at Harold Mountain School that will allow us to break through and not impact the school day-to-days. They'll allow us to, break through and tie the addition into the main school. So that's also in place. That was built over the Thanksgiving break, so not to disturb the school. And that's an update, unless you have specific questions on that.
So the only question I had is when do you plan having a proper? I know we talked in our meeting on Monday about the leak over at Maple Street. When do you foresee maybe having some diagnosis on that and what the next step is?
The small leak in the gymnasium, yes. The Easton will be out there either tomorrow or Thursday to investigate and find out exactly what's going on there and locate it. It's a very small leak, which makes the hunt fun, but they will locate it and get it and address it, get it patched, and we'll update you as soon as we know.
That's great. And Amy, we had a lot of rain over the last 2 days. How did it look after that? Was it pretty wet?
I mean, it's wet, but I think there's really not much they can do until someone comes out. That's what both Larry and Noah have said, and so Jordan's just been flexible, and we're just waiting to see, what could be the reason and how it can be fixed.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Barry at all? Perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Barry. And I just want to say I went to Harold Martin today to pick up a folder for my daughter, and I walked the construction site, and it looked amazing. It was great to see everything all lined up and the stairs and everything. It's just really excited to see in person. So I just want to say everything looked really good, and glad to see it looking great.
Terrific. Yeah, it's really taking shape.
Yep.
Without a doubt. Yep.
All right. If there's no other questions for Barry, I'll turn it over to Michelle for a quick financial update.
Sure. So in the drive, you should have seen, and I apologize if like Norm had mentioned, it wasn't clear. Hopefully it was clear enough to see what it is it's two different financial, one's a financial system report and the other one's a Google Sheet. And so at this point, we've spent a little over 1.9. That's as of the end of October. Sorry, the end of November. So that is pretty much on target of where we should be. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
And just for, we're starting the budget season and all that, and I understand that our plan is to potentially be bringing a warrant in order for the interest, like we discussed in the previous meetings, from the bond, correct? So that'd be something that will be coming forward potentially. And then the other one is when is the next step for us for the second half of the bond? Is it February, March? When do we have to apply for that one again?
So my hope would be, because the budget I believe is built, that we're going to do it in August. So,
okay.
Right. So the hope would
Okay.
be that we can use the funds we do have and do like we did before, where we, lent money in essence to the bond fund until we got the second bond.
Okay. Perfect. Does anyone have any questions for Michelle? Fantastic. Awesome. We are cruising along. This is great. So the next thing on our agenda is public comment. I am going to open public comment, and now I'm going to close public comment because there's no one in attendance. So there's no one here, so therefore we don't need public comment. The next thing, just to talk briefly, is our next meeting. I am not sure when that's going to be. We've got a pretty big budget process coming up, and I know we're going to be pretty busy the next couple months, and I assume it would be in January at some point. I guess the question I have for BPS and Gordon is, when is the sensitivity of a recommendation from the building committee regarding the adults in order for us to be able to determine the next step for this project?
Barry, I'll take a hint at it and say that I think if you wait until the middle of January, that's fine for us. But I'll now yield to Barry. I would start the bidding at mid-January before we need to. And then that still leaves about 2 or 3 weeks to batter things back and forth. So if you need more information. Barry, how does your thinking?
Well,
Whoop,
you're muted.
You're muted, Barry. Thanks.
Now I get to hear myself again. Gordon, I think that's the earliest, quite honestly. I've been able to ascertain from some of our vendors lead time issues. For example, a lot of the decisions, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, are going to be based on flooring. And the later we go, the more knowledge we have of where we are budget and financial wise. So my vendors have gotten back to me, and they need to place orders by March 1st to have the materials there for mid-June for installation. With that said, we can't start analyzing and getting into that decision process March 1. But I would say, as Gordon said, mid-January is a perfect time to start and get into the debate in February with the goal of having those things answered no later than, let's leave ourselves some wiggle room, second, third week of February. So we're not in trouble material ordering wise. That's for flooring. Other decisions we have to make, I believe, are things like the nurse's suite. And if we're going to go ahead with that at HMS. And Doug, you please weigh in on any items that you see out there of alternate concern. But I believe those are the two main ones. Anything else, Doug? No. Doug says no.
So we're on the leadership team agenda on Thursday is to go through all the adults. Doug prepared summaries by cost and also a listing by building of all the adults. So I've got those ready for the leadership on Thursday to start looking at them. But I hope that we can come with some thoughts at the January meeting and finalize it at the February meeting. That's my hope.
Sounds very prudent time, Steve. That would be perfect.
Perfect. That was the only thing I was thinking between now and our next meeting. Does anyone have any other questions? Anything needs to be discussed? Perfect. With that, it's too early to wish you guys Merry Christmas because we just had Thanksgiving, but we'll be meeting regularly on Mondays, the management team. But I want to thank everyone for coming to this meeting. And Steve, we will discuss when the next meeting is. It might not be January 5th. I want to see how things go with our process moving forward. Does that work for you?
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can meet regularly.
Yeah. We'll put January 5th as a tentative date for right now.
Perfect. And
Okay.
then, because of, yeah, we should be, I hope we'd be okay, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But thank you.
I just want to give you that flexibility. So perfect.
You
All
got
right,
it.
guys.
Thanks.
With that, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. So everyone have a great night. Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks.